Welcome to video number 1 of Vlogmas 2021. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be doing a video a day for the entire month of December. I've got 31 topics for you. I hope you enjoy the video. And Nate and I just came out camping here at the Valley of Fire. It's about an hour and some outside of Vegas. So we came camping. And what better way to start out the Vlogmas than to chat about how we camp as raw vegans. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Thank you again for joining me. I'm excited for Vlogmas this year. I hope you are too. Before we begin, you can get 40% off any or all of our recipe books. The code is RAWFOOD40. The link is right here, or it's also in the description box below. Now let's chat about camping as raw vegans. So camping is something that Nate and I love so much to do. We don't get to do it as often as we would like to, but we are trying to do more of it. Since we've started taking weekends off, we've kind of had to force ourselves to take weekends off. We've been doing more camping. And this camping trip that we've done, we came and the camping spots are first come, first serve. But all the spots were taken. There aren't very many out here at Valley of Fire, so we had to leave the park. Only about 7 miles out, we found Fire Cove, which is on public land, so you're allowed to camp outside of the park. So we pitched our tent. We found a little spot inside a riverbed, and it's beautiful. It's so nice to be away from everyone and to have a perfectly beautiful, clear sky and our raw food. So before we begin our camping trip, the number one top thing that we have to do is plan our meals. Plan your meals and you're golden. It's so easy because you know exactly what you're going to have at every meal and you bring enough food to make sure that you can get through the weekend or the week or however long that you are camping for. Also, if you're going for more than say 3 or 4 days camping, I would suggest planning in a grocery shop. Make sure where you're camping, you know where the grocery stores are, where the nearest ones are, so that you can go and pick up what you might need. In those cases, long camping trips, you might need to do a little bit different planning, like using avocados and tomatoes as a dressing might be a good idea, because unless you have a power outlet or an inverter for your vehicle, then you won't be able to blend dressings. But again, you can mash dressings. You can use avocado, tomato, lemon juice, black pepper, spices, that kind of thing, and you can get by with that. Or you can always default to fruit, obviously, but you want to get your salads in as well. So if you are planning more than 4 days, then it's going to be a little bit of a challenge in that manner. But Nate and I, typically, we go camp for maybe 3 or 4 nights, and then we get into town and we stock up on whatever we might need. Maybe we stay in an Airbnb for a night, and then we head out to another camping location, and we'll spend another 4 nights there. But at the Airbnb, we use their power, we blend dressings, we sometimes have brought our dehydrator with us, and we've made burgers in between camping trips at an Airbnb for the night. So there are totally options. Doesn't matter. If you want to be raw when you're camping, there is always a way if there is a will. So planning is number 1. For this camping trip, we had to write down what meals we're going to need for camping. So we left around after lunch. So our lunch on the way out was a big smoothie, and we added lots of berries, peaches, bananas, cranberries, and some Irish moss we added as well. So that was our lunch smoothie. We also snacked on grapes on the drive out here. So that was our lunch. So really we only needed dinner for Friday night. We needed breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Saturday. And we need breakfast and lunch for Sunday because we were driving back into town after lunch on Sunday. So we needed 2 lunches, 2 breakfasts, and 2 dinners. That's really basically what we needed to do. So in order to do so, we planned it out. We wrote down exactly what we wanted to have for those meals and then decided how we were going to prepare all of those. We chose burgers for Friday night and Saturday night. So Nate made the burgers in the morning on Friday before we left. He just blended all of the ingredients in the food processor, formed them into patties, and they dehydrated while we got the rest of our stuff ready, all our camp gear, our packing stuff. And I had to bring my curling iron to curl my hair. here at camp because we have an outlet on our truck, so we're able to use a little bit of power. So I did curl my hair for the videos, but yeah, we had to pack everything else while the burgers were dehydrating. Then we chose to have a mango tahini dressing, and I can put the dressing in the description box below, so head down there and check it out if you're interested in the dressing that we made. We made a quad batch of this dressing, so there's enough for Nate and I for lunch on Saturday and enough for Nate and I for lunch on Sunday. And I know this sounds confusing and a lot of work, but really when you just write them down and say, I need to blend dressing for lunches, I need to prep the burgers and make sure that I have this and this and this, it actually isn't that big of a deal. It's fairly easy. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So I blended the mango tahini dressing that we're going to have today for lunch and tomorrow for lunch before we head out. The easiest thing to take for breakfast is fruit. Fruit is so simple, and it's what we eat for breakfast anyways. The top 3 things that I would say are the best fruits to bring when you're camping are melons, mangoes, and apples. Because melons, mangoes, and apples last the longest outside of a cooler. You don't need a cooler for them. We just keep them in our back seat. But melons are like number 1. Apples would be number 2, and then mangoes are number 3. It depends on how ripe they are when you get them. Bananas are okay. They're not the greatest camping food because when they're exposed to higher levels of heat or they get too cold, then they can change. The browning is different and sometimes they get mushy. So we don't typically bring bananas when we are camping. We do sometimes, we'll snack on them in the car on the way in, but they're not really something that we normally have for breakfast. We always have a melon for sure, and then we bring mangoes, make sure that we have some ripe ones so that they last for those 3 days. And then apples. Apples are so amazing. Seriously, they seem to last forever, and apples are great to have for breakfast and for snacks. We also take snacks. We'll wash grapes. We do sometimes bring a little bit of dried fruit. If we've dried some apple slices or dried mango slices, we will bring those as well. But grapes typically are our best snack source. Kale chips are also a really fun snack, but you'll have to make sure that you plan. If you want to have kale chips for your road trip, then you'll have to make them a day or 2 early because they need about 18 hours or so to dehydrate. So make sure that you plan that in if you're going to bring kale chips or dried fruit or anything like that. Blending the dressings is really easy, and if you are camping, we highly recommend using a vacuum blender. If you blend your dressings in a regular blender, then you're blending a lot of air into the dressing and it can change the flavor, and they don't last as long because you have all that air blended into your dressing. If you use a vacuum blender, then you're not blending a whole bunch of air into your dressing, and then you can seal your dressing under vacuum, and those dressings can last like up to 5 days and they still taste super fresh like you just blended them. So definitely, if you're into camping, invest in a vacuum blender and learn how to vacuum seal your jars. I have a short here on YouTube showing how to do it. Really easy, do it yourself, just with a little hole punch in the top of your mason jar lid, using some electrical tape to seal it, and then use your vacuum to suck out all the air. This is the best form of storage, and it works really well for camping, or if you're doing food prep for multiple days and you need to make dressing for 3 or 4 days, it is amazing, seriously. As for the salad ingredients, we just like to bring stuff if we're only going for 2 nights. Like for this camping trip, we have our lettuce and our tomatoes and a couple other veggies, just whole, because we like to sit and chop and chat and find a nice little spot to do so. So we don't normally prepare if we're only going for 1 or 2 nights, but if we're going for multiple nights, that's when we do like to prepare a lot of our veggies. So we'll take, say, 12 heads of romaine. There have been times where we have chopped 18 heads of romaine, and we will chop all the lettuce and vacuum seal it in vacuum sealable and reusable bags. And those go in our cooler. They take up a lot less space because you're taking out all the air. So what would normally take up so much space only takes about half the space. They fit really nicely in the cooler. And on that note, you will need to take a cooler with you. You can get ice packs. We recommend wrapping them in paper bags or using some form of cardboard barrier. Plastic barriers are okay, but they don't work as well as the paper. If you have your veggies sitting right against the ice packs, then your veggies are going to freeze and they're going to be all mushy and gross. So you want to make sure that you have that barrier, and just make sure that your cooler has a full seal on it so it stays cool more often. We also take water. That's a big, massive thing, especially here in the desert. We need to take water. So we do stop somewhere. We have a 5-gallon jug, and we do buy extra water, and we'll keep it in the back of the truck just in case, because water is essential. We need it for life. So we always bring extra water. Plus, if we are camping somewhere like we are tonight, where they don't have water spigots or bathrooms, then having extra water is really nice to have at your campsite. And finally, don't forget your utensils. Don't forget your utensils. Don't forget to bring rags with you. We have our Norwex microfiber cloths that we bring with us, and our bowls, obviously. Bring plates if you are going to be having something like burgers or sushi or what have you. We've brought sushi before on our camping trips. We just make it beforehand. That's really all it is. Just making everything beforehand, being prepared, and then have fun. Enjoy it and learn from your experience. If you realize that you forgot forks, or you forgot spoons for your melons, or you didn't bring a knife, we always have a knife and a cutting board in our truck at all times. We also keep our bowls in the truck. If we ever need to stop somewhere and grab like lettuce, avocado, and tomato or whatever to make a quick salad, if we can't get home and we're hungry, we keep the bowls, forks, a knife, and a cutting board in the truck. Doesn't take a lot of space, but they have been life-saving at times when we're just really hungry and we just go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of stuff, make a salad on the tailgate. It's fun and it's easy, so that's something that you want to keep in mind. But yeah, have fun, guys. Learn from the experience and write stuff down if you wish you would have brought something like maybe a tablecloth, or maybe you wish you brought your spiralizer to spiralize your cucumbers. And you can bring anything you want as long as it fits in your vehicle and you want to use it. Make it fun. It's not supposed to be challenging or difficult or anything like that. Just plan out your meals, bring what you need, and enjoy your camping trip. So that's it for today, Vlogmas video number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back again tomorrow for another video. Until then, if you like these videos, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support us, head on over to my website and enjoy 40% off any or all of our recipe ebooks, including the new party food ebook, which is great for the holidays. Grab that. The code is RAWFOOD40 to get the discount, and the link is right here as well as in the description box below. I love you guys so much, and we'll see you back tomorrow. Fruit on.